Mike and Angela were childhood friends. They were so fond of each other. They loved each other. They do things together. In fact, because of that, their parents became very close friends. Their children attended the same school. That was how they started, and then they also attended the same high school. They were still, very close friends. So it happened that Angela's dad got a job in another country, and that demanded the whole family to go and reside permanently in that country, and that was China. So Mike continued to stay in California with his parents. When they realized that they were going to separate, they cried so hard. They couldn't believe that they could separate so soon, or even though they would separate, but that was not how they wanted the whole thing to be. It didn't go as they all planned. So they spent time together during the last days of Angela's stay. They spent quality time together. They took a lot of selfies. They just wanted to, keep a lot of memories of them together. So on the 2nd of September 2020, Angela and her family traveled to China. So that was how they left. But before they left, they exchanged vows. Angela promised that she would always love Mike, and Mike also said the same thing, that he will always love her. So after the first year in school, and mind you that during their first year in school, they were still communicating on phone. They did a lot of video calls. They were still communicating very well with each other. So after the first year in school, Angela came back, and Mike went to pick her up from the airport, and you can imagine how that kind of scene would be. They hugged each other so tightly and passionately. So they got back to the house. Angela went to Mike's house because his family was already fond of Angela. In fact, Mike's parents were already kind of troubling him when Angela come back, that they really miss her, they really missed her company. So Angela went to Mike's house, and they spent time together with the whole, the family. They spent time together. So after their holidays, Angela went back to China, where she continued her studies. Well, Mike still stayed in California and also continued with his studies. They still loved each other very much. So they finally reached their final year in the school. So having reached that level in school, they kind of thought about how life will be after school. Every student wants to know how their life will be after school. You have to be independent, you have to get a job, you have to get married, you have to get a house, you have to buy a car, so many things. So they had to, sit down together and plan. That was during one of their holidays. They sat down together to plan on how this thing will be, how will their life be, what do they want after school, as every serious people in a relationship want to discuss with their spouse. So they talked about a lot of things. They talked at length, and Mike said that he wanted to finish school, then about he would stay for like 2 years, get a job, try to settle down, build a house, buy a car, and put things in place. Then he will come to marry Angela. And Angela was so overwhelmed, even her too. Angela was the kind of person who loved to be so independent. So she said that she wanted to get a job. She loved writing a lot, so she would get a job, and then she would become so serious with her writing career. She said a lot of things she wanted to achieve after her final year in school. So they still cherish each other and all of that. So they finally finished their stay in school, and during Mike's convocation, Angela's parents went to say hi and celebrate with the family. And also during Angela's convocation, Mike's parents also went to celebrate. So you can see how their family was so close. They were so in good terms. So after that convocation ceremony, they went into job hunting. I don't know if you know what we mean by job hunting. That's they went in search of a job, because that's what they planned. And after school, they love to get a job, they love to do this. So Mike and Angela went into job hunting, and luckily for Mike, he got employed in one of the petroleum companies, one of the top and most paying petroleum companies in California, because he came back to California. So Angela also got a job because she studied accounting. She got a job in one of the banks, one of the biggest banks in their country. Yeah. So after 2 years, as Mike said, that after 2 years, I would love to come and marry you. I would love to, do everything and just take you to be my wife. So after that 2 years, he decided to take Angela by surprise. So he gathered her family and her friends. He told them his intentions, and he also said that he wanted the whole thing to be a surprise. So they all knew about the proposal and how it was going to be and where it would be, because Mike had picked a venue, and that her friends and her family should go there. It's going to be a surprise. And then one of her friends, you'll make sure that she dressed good, she did a manicure, a pedicure, and she made a nice hair and all of that, and she looks good. So her friend playfully took her there, and surprisingly for her, only for her to see that her family and friends were already there. And then Mike knelt down and he proposed to her. That was like, I don't even know how to say it, but that was a moment that Angela loved most in her life because of the joy. She was so overwhelmed, she was so happy. So you know what the answer would be, her answer would be, she said yes. She said yes, because she loved Mike and she wanted to spend the rest of her life with Mike. So she said yes to Mike, and they were so happy. In fact, the date for the wedding was fixed. The date of the wedding was fixed, and their families were overjoyed. They started arrangements, how they would dress, all those stuff their parents, all those stuff their parents and friends would love to do. So they did them all. So they decided to go to the hospital to just, do some checkups, run some medicals, and know how their medical life is. Only for the doctor to come back, and he was looking so sad. And these young couples were already kind of looking at him, and they were like, what's wrong? And his face was not looking bright at all, like how they met him. So that was when the doctor then broke the news out to them that they were not compatible to marry, because their genotype were AS. They were both AS, and that means that they could not marry. And had it been one of them was AA and the other was AS, it would have been better. But in this case, they were both AS. So Angela was shocked. She was so shocked. I don't even know which other word I should use to describe that feeling. In fact, she was traumatized. She almost went mad. In fact, she started laughing. Mike had to, as a man, he had to calm her down, and even though it was deeply hot, he had to calm her down. She went back home and she cried. She wept. In fact, crying is an understatement. She wept uncontrollably. They wept. So Mike was like, since this hospital is saying so, I think we should do this test again. We should go to another hospital to run these medicals to just be sure, because this cannot be. We have been very close friends right from when we were little. Is this what's going to separate us from being together? Mike was just having so many questions in his mind. So they went to another hospital, and unfortunately for them, it was still the same thing. They went to another hospital, and it was still the same thing. They had to involve the family because this was getting out of hand, and Angela was already kind of fuming, and she was like, I can't take this. What's happening? What's this? Is this how my life will end? This how I'm going to end my relationship with Mike after the wedding date has been fixed and everything has been kept in place? Is this what's going to happen to me? And she wept. So that was it for Angela. So the whole family then came, and they were so shocked and they were in dismay, and they tried to console them and told them that that was not the end of their life, and that they still have a lot of time to live on earth to still meet someone who they will still love and also be of the required and compatible genotype. So those two lovers they disagreed, because this is kind of friendship, a relationship that they grew together right from when they were young. So is this when the whole thing wouldn't stop? Why didn't it stop when they were little, so that it wouldn't have gotten up to this point? That was what Mike was just having in mind. So Angela's mom tried to console her, because Angela was on the verge of committing suicide. She just wanted to end her life, but Angela's mom was there to tell her that maybe that was not what God planned for them. And maybe Mike was not just the man that God wanted her to marry. And Angela hated those words. Like, she hated those words. And had it been there was another person who said those words, in fact, she would have hated that person. But she told her mom, please do not say that. How can this young man who I've loved all through my life, I've never known any man except this man, I love him and I want to spend the rest of my life with him, and is this genotype of a thing that wants to separate us? And she was so annoyed. She was so annoyed. Her friends were there to console her. Her friends cried because they really loved her and they really wanted to see them getting married. Her friends cried and they tried to console her, and Mike also, on his own parts, also tried to tell her that no matter what happens, he still loves her and he's still going to be with her till the end of the world. He was just promising her so many things, but Angela did not want to listen again, because she did not know where the miracle would come from. She just prayed and prayed and prayed, but nothing changed at the moment. Nothing changed. So Angela started ignoring Mike's call and ignoring his messages. She did not want a situation whereby she's trying to withdraw herself from Mike, but the urge to reply or the urge to answer his call would then make it impossible for her to try to withdraw herself. So she was just looking for how to just withdraw herself so that she can face her life, try to pick up her life again from where she stopped, and possibly look for someone else who will love her and also have the kind of genotype that will fit her to marry. That's AA and AS. So I get the whole gist now. So Angela was just trying to ignore Mike and just try to create that gap, that distance, so that it will be possible for her to try and move on. But it was just becoming impossible, and Mike on his own part did not want to give up on Angela, and he promised to marry her just the way she is. He told her that no matter the genotype, that should not even stop their love, and that they still loved her and wanted to marry her despite their genotype. And in fact, he was already promising her to adopt children. He promised to adopt children just to have children around them, since they could not give birth. They did not want to have any issues in terms of giving birth to children. So Mike already promised to adopt children to be in their family, but Angela did not want such a thing to happen. She just wanted to have her own children, and she did not want to have any issues or complications. She did not want her children to also have issues or complications. So she just decided to ignore Mike, just try to ignore him and live her life. She had to go for counseling. So they counseled her and they told a lot of things that was not the end of her life. And that is it for this episode. So guys, I am not leaving you to decide or to give a suggestion. If you were in the position of Mike, what would you have done? And also, if you were in the position of Angela, what would you have done in that kind of situation? And also, if you have ended a relationship just because of genotype, or you have ended your intended marriage because of your genotype, or any other health related issue, please do well to drop it in the comment section. And guys, please let's try to be so interactive here, because this is a very serious issue that so many people have been facing. At least there is always a Mike and there's always an Angela. There is always a Mike and there's always, you understand what I'm saying, that somebody has been in this situation before. So what would you do if you were in that situation? So drop your comments in the comment section, and also tell me if you love this video or if you love this story. I am going to work on the second episode. I am going to drop soon. So guys, I am waiting for your response. I am waiting for your comments. I am waiting for you to tell me if you love this video, so that I can make another episode for you to watch or listen to. Guys, I am so happy that you came to watch this video and listen to my voice, even though it's not that good. You came to listen to me, and this is actually my first video in this channel, guys. So please they also support me. Let's build this community together. Let's build a very big community here together. Like this video, share this video. I so much appreciate you guys for coming to watch me. Even though this is my first video, guys, I am so happy. I am overjoyed. I don't even know how to thank you guys, but just know that I love all of you. Thank you so much for always coming to watch this video. Sorry. Thank you so much, guys. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, guys, and I would love to see all of you guys in my next video. Bye bye.
Took all night for you to grab your phone. All this twice, will you leave me alone? And I'm walking away. Don't wanna hear what you say, If you keep talking away, I just can't say, just go away. Oh baby, just listen to me clearly. Yeah, you just hurt me. Maybe it's meant to be this, meant to be this way. Baby, just listen to me clearly. Yeah, you just hurt me. Maybe it's meant to be this, meant to be this way. So cool.